Hey guys, HBO released the first official photos of Game of Thrones Season 8, giving us a first look at many of our favorite characters. Obviously, HBO is not releasing any information about these photos, but there's still plenty of information we can get out of them. Most of the characters are gathering in Winterfell, or on their way to Winterfell, all but Cersei, who is at the capital. Let's start with this photo of Arya Stark as she is looking up at something. Arya is probably in Winterfell, but she could also be in Wintertown, a settlement in the north, located just outside of Winterfell itself. During the years-long winters which hit the region, the small folk of the north came to huddle for protection in settlements outside the walls of Winterfell. We have seen many characters on this location, from Tyrion to Brienne and Podrick, and here Arya might be in Wintertown, possibly gathering information about people's opinions about Jon and Dany when the dragons appear in the sky. The scene will then probably pan to Jon and Dany just before they arrive at Winterfell. I assume this is them looking at Winterfell from a distance. Some believe this is somewhere beyond the wall, judging from the landscape behind them. But remember, winter is here and the Night King's closer to them than ever, so it could be anywhere, but my guess is it's somewhere close to Winterfell. Daenerys' white fur dress has been updated with some red fabric, either to emphasize her house colors or just to differentiate yourself from the background. This photo, which was released separately from the other Season 8 photos, likely depicts the same scene between Jon and Dany, but from a different angle. We know that Jon and Dany will arrive at Winterfell in the very first episode of the final season in a callback to the series' very first episode, with Dany and her camp standing in for King Robert and his company. Once Jon arrives at Winterfell, he'll have a heartbreaking reunion with his family, with Sansa, Arya and Bran, as well as with his friend Sam and his direwolf Ghost. After reuniting with Sansa and Arya, and after presenting Dany to his family and all the Northern Lords, Jon will also have a brief moment with Sam as well. Many are wondering if Jon's arrival will stand as a chance for Sam and Bran to finally reveal Jon his true lineage, and the answer is most likely no. Even though Bran has been waiting the whole season to reveal to Jon the truth, I don't think he'll reveal it to Jon at their first meeting, the reason being too many people around them. Bran and Sam will likely wait for a private moment with Jon rather than revealing such an important, life-changing information to him in front of everyone, and this scene right there might be the moment. We see Sam smiling the way he only smiles when sees or talks to Jon, and he might be entering Jon's chamber to have a chat with his best friend. When I think of it, Sam might not even be at the courtyard of Winterfell when Jon arrives, as he's probably too deep into the books to know what's going on outside, so this might just be the scene where Sam reunites with Jon. Jon and Sam will see each other for the very first time since Jon was killed and resurrected. Sam might even be the one to reveal to Jon his true parentage, while Howland and Bran could confirm these Sam statements to Jon with some evidence. If Jon tells Sam about what happened to him in the Night's Watch, death and resurrection, it's possible that beside revealing to Jon that he is a Targaryen, Sam might also proclaim Jon Azor Ahai. In the Season 7 premiere, Show pointed out that the book Gilly picked up and began reading was a book about the Long Night, while the exact part she was reading was about the prophecy of Azor Ahai. Anyways, upon finding out about Jon's true parentage in Season 7, which basically confirms that he is a Song of Ice and Fire, and upon finding out about Jon's death and resurrection in the final season, it's quite possible that Sam will proclaim Jon Azor Ahai, a hero that was reborn amid smoke and salt, a hero that will wield the flaming sword to stand against the others, and if he falls, the world falls with him. It's going to be very interesting to see Jon's reaction. I also believe that the book about the Long Night that Gilly was reading in the Season 7 premiere will resurface in the final season, which would likely lead Sam to once again ask Bran if he is able to look back in time, but this time even deeper into the past to see what exactly happened the last time the White Walkers came for the living. This is how Sam and Bran will play a huge role in the final season, as they will help Jon and Dany strategize for their fight against the Night King and his army of the dead. Speaking of Bran, here we see him sitting before the fire, either contemplating how to defeat the Night King or how to reveal the truth to Jon. Here we see Jon standing in Winterfell courtyard, probably after he is reunited with his family, and after the tense meeting between Dany and all the Starks. Varys is also there, and so is Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion stands on the battlements of Winterfell, wearing a new wintry outfit. This is Tyrion's third time visiting Winterfell. If you recall, Tyrion visited Winterfell twice in the very first season, the first time as part of King Robert's entourage, and then on his way back from the Wall. Pausing at Winterfell on the return trip home, Tyrion gave Bran plans for a special saddle, so that he can ride even in his crippled state. The first thing I noticed about this photo is Tyrion's suspicious look that he in my opinion gives to Jon and Dany. Tyrion is jealous, and it's not just my guess, it's been confirmed by the Season 7 scripts. Upon being released, the official Game of Thrones script shed light on several contested details from the show's 7th season, including Tyrion's real feelings for Dany. Game of Thrones has confirmed what many fans had suspected by the end of the last season, that Tyrion Lannister is in love with Dany Targaryen. For Season 6, Episode 10 The Winds of Winter, the script reads at one point, Dany staring into the distance, so Tyrion is able to watch her from up close. Goddamn, she's beautiful. He watches her for a bit too long and turns away. Lost in her own thoughts, she doesn't notice that he's flustered. Season 7 episode 4, The Spoils of War, makes it even more obvious. During the scene where Tyrion watches Jaime putting himself in mortal danger by charging at Dany and her dragon Drogon, the script says, the brother he loves races towards his probable death at the hands of the queen Tyrion also loves. Peter Dinklage, an actor who plays Tyrion, hinted at his character's true feelings for Dany earlier this year. The question was, why did Tyrion have a rather dark and troubled expression upon realizing that Jon and Dany are consummating their relationship? And what was Tyrion thinking to himself at that very moment? Keep it down over there, I'm trying to get some sleep, Dinklage jokes. But then he got serious and delivered a rather thoughtful and detailed answer. No, it's complicated, Dinklage says. A lot of time with Tyrion is professional and personal. Obviously, he has feelings for Dany. He loves her or thinks he does. She's awe-inspiring. He's questioning that because he doesn't have a good track record for falling in love. There's jealousy wrapped up in there. And he loves Jon Snow too. They're the two people he has the most in common with. They're both outsiders in their own families who refuse to follow the path their family has taken, and hopefully for the better. He's wondering how smart of a move Jon and Dany getting romantically involved is, because passion and politics don't mix well. He knows the two of them getting together could be very dangerous. So basically it's a mix of feelings. Tyrion's jealous because he loves Dany, but also worried for her because he thinks this relationship might not end well. With that being established, Game of Thrones fans have something more concrete to hold on to when formulating their theories for the upcoming season. It's not a coincidence that people behind the series opted to end Tyrion's season 7 story with him in the shadows, knowing fully well that Jon and Dany were consummating their relationship. His love for Dany, knowing that her affection now lies with someone else, could very well push Tyrion's loyalty elsewhere. After all, we still don't know what he and Cersei fully talked about in her chambers when the camera cut away. Additionally, it's also hinted that Dany after all might not be who Tyrion wants to see on the Iron Throne, with the script revealing that he sees Dany as the same as he sees the Mad King. Love is not the only emotion Tyrion feels for Dany. He's also scared of her, and fears for what her rule would bring upon the people of the Seven Kingdoms, especially as Dany burns Randall and Dick entirely alive in Eastwatch. Inside Tyrion's thoughts, the script links Dany to her mad father King Aerys Targaryen. Tyrion's thoughts are that her last best hope is also her father's daughter. Anyways, back to the season 8 photos. So Jon and Dany arrive with their crews. Jon introduces Dany to his family and has many reunions. However, while there will be a few moments of a heartbreaking reunion between Jon and his family and friends, there will be no time for much small talk because Winterfell is already preparing for the war. Upon being informed about the fall of the wall, the next scene we'll see in Winterfell is easy to assume to be Jon having an urgent meeting with majority of the Northern Lords and his allies at the Great Hall in order to discuss their strategy and defenses, which brings us to next photos, the ones from the Great Meeting in Winterfell. Almost all of the main characters will be there, and we've got to see Davos, Sansa, Dany and Brienne. Davos listens carefully as he sits with a winter-ready and solid soldier behind him. Judging by the look of Davos, he might even be looking at Lady Melisandre returning to Winterfell, which is only a matter of time until she does. Although that's just a possibility, Davos could also be looking at pretty much anyone. Brienne's look also seems intense, and when you look deeper into it, it also seems as if she's afraid for the person she loves. Could she be looking at Jaime Lannister? Has he already arrived at Winterfell? The last time we saw Jaime, he finally left Cersei, and he was wearing the same armor on his way out of King's Landing. Now he has also a beard and the Northern armor shoulder pads. He either put those for disguise or combat, or it could even possibly mean that by this time he has already pledged to House Stark, and those shoulder pads that look exactly like Rob's are given to him by the Starks. I believe Jaime is in Winterfell here, and Brienne is worried for how Dany Targaryen, the person he tried to kill, and Bran Stark, also the person he tried to kill, will react to it. Daenerys and Jon Snow invited the Lannisters to come to support the living in the wars to come, and even though Cersei played them, Jaime on the other hand honored this pledge, meaning that no harm would Jon nor Dany do to him, nor would they allow anyone else to do so. Tyrion and Brienne will be happy and proud that Jaime has honored this pledge, and will vouch for him if any trouble shall find him at Winterfell. Of course, Jaime's the most important reunion is the one with Bran Stark, the kid he tried to kill to keep him from reporting what he had just witnessed, the report that would have resulted with Jaime, Cersei and all their children being executed. Fortunately, Bran survived, but has lost ability to walk. The question we all have regarding this reunion is how will Bran react? At first glance we would assume that Bran would react angrily, since that's the man who almost killed him the last time they saw each other, but that will most likely not be the case. Rather than sentencing Jaime to death, Bran will, in my opinion, reveal to everyone the real truth behind Jaime's so-called betrayal over Dany's father, the Mad King, probably when someone insults Jaime, a Kingslayer. Bran will reveal that Jaime should not be mocked and called a Kingslayer, but rather the hero and the savior of the city of King's Landing. Jaime killed the Mad King because he could not let him burn hundreds of thousands of innocent people. So seemingly an intense reunion which some think could end with Jaime's death will likely happen just the opposite. Jaime and his great deeds will finally get the recognition he and his act against the Mad King deserve. Not the traitor, not the Kingslayer, but the hero and the savior of King's Landing and its people. Last but not least, we have a great up-close look at Cersei on the Iron Throne. We get to see one of Cersei's new gowns since Season 8. It looks like she's added some golden armor to her ensemble. This photo is likely from the same scene. With this release, you can expect the first official trailer to drop anytime now. Let me know your opinion about these photos in the comment section down below. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to subscribe to our channel and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.